A breathy whisper, distorted by static, slithered through the crackle. They're watching. You can't turn it off. The static erupted, a louder burst this time, the low hum intensifying into a relentless drone. They say it began in '78, deep within the Louisiana swamps. A faint signal bleeding into the airwaves, a broadcast they called the Red Room. Folklore claimed that if you caught it, something followed you home. Something that crawled from the static, from the shadows, something hungry. I ain't saying I believe in voodoo, but listen to Billy Joe Jenkins' story. Billy Joe, a radio tech who lived near the bayou, repaired old shortwave radios, the kind that picked up more ghosts than stations. He was a good man, but jumpy, always glancing over his shoulder as if expecting unwanted company. One night, fiddling with an old Zenith radio, a true dinosaur, he heard it. A low hum, like a monstrous breath close to his ear. A slight shift of the dial and the room exploded in a hellish red glow, emanating not from the radio's screen, but from the room itself. Billy Joe's eyes widened, sweat beading on his brow. He saw things then. Shapes shifting in and out of the red light, shadows flickering at the edge of his vision. He tried to switch it off, but his trembling hands failed him. Whispers grew louder, closer, a chorus of dread he couldn't comprehend. Only the raw terror they evoked. He collapsed, eyes rolled back, froth at his lips. The next morning, the sheriff found him. The Zenith cold, lifeless, no power source, no red glow, just Billy Joe, dead, and bearing deep three-fingered scratches across his chest and face. A chilling whisper cut through the returning hum of static. Find the frequency. Billy Joe Jenkins, a simple radio repairman in Lafayette, Louisiana, became synonymous with something nasty. Something that crawled from the bayou and slithered onto the airwaves. Sheriff Brody received the call that Tuesday. Billy Joe, eyes rolled back. 3 deep scratches across his throat. The Zenith clutched in his stiff fingers, tuned to nothing. Or so it seemed. Deputy Dale, young and nervous, admitted unease. Sheriff, I don't like this. It ain't natural, sir. Brody, gruff and weary, attributed it to a heart attack. Stress, but conceded. This ain't something I've seen before. The scratches, they're different. And the radio, unusually cold. Dale discovered a notebook on Billy Joe's workbench. Scribbled notes, frequencies, calculations, and a recurring drawing. A crimson spiral with 3 points. Even Brody felt a chill when Dale read the final entry. The red bleeds through, the crimson coil. It whispers. It wants. It needs. The rhythmic thumping from the radio intensified. Brody reached for his own radio, his hand trembling as he began to search. Searching. That wasn't ordinary static. It felt like something crawling beneath his skin. A chill sinking deeper than any swamp fog. After Billy Joe, Brody no longer dismissed things so readily. The cold, the spiral, the whispers from the dead radio. It wasn't natural. In Billy Joe's notebook, Brody found frequencies outside the normal broadcast band. Hidden, waiting. He dialed in the first frequency. Silence, then a buildup of static. Clearer this time, more focused. The next frequency brought a faint whisper. A mournful, ethereal woman's voice speaking directly to him. The final frequency. The humming intensified, becoming deafening. The woman's voice now clear, mixed with a chorus of whispers surrounding him. Dale burst in, terrified. A high-pitched, otherworldly scream pierced the cacophony, abruptly ceasing. The radio fell silent. Only the woman's voice, now calm and amused, breaking the quiet. Join us, Sheriff Brody. The Red Room has been waiting a long time. The woman's voice, haunting and ethereal, felt like ice water down Brody's spine. Deputy Dale, normally tough, was pale, his eyes glued to the dial. Billy Joe's notebook, filled with cryptic frequencies and chilling scrawls, lay open. The air hung heavy, holding its breath. The rhythmic thumping started again, a giant heart hammering in the darkness, resonating in Brody's chest. A prickling at his neck, a certainty that something was watching, beyond human comprehension. Brody reached for the volume knob, morbid curiosity battling terror. The whispers grew distinct, fragmented sentences of pain and despair, a horrifying tapestry of torment. A high-pitched shriek cut through the cacophony, followed by silence. The woman's voice, chillingly close, whispered in their ears. "We're closer than you think, Sheriff. Much closer. We see you. We hear you. We're inside." Heavy, dragging footsteps echoed from the hallway, ending with a sickening thud. Brody's face, illuminated by flickering fluorescent light, was pale, shadowed with exhaustion. The air was thick with stale coffee and something acrid and metallic. A faint scratching emanated from the walls. Dale dismissed it as rats, but Brody knew better. A woman's moan echoed from the hallway, closer now, joined by the rhythmic thumping from the broadcast. The red glow emanated from the radio on Brody's desk. Whispers, fragmented words, menacing. "Help! Get out! They're watching!" mixed with guttural sounds. The thumping intensified, the whispering closer, more frantic. A piercing scream followed by a chilling whisper right in their ears. "You can't stop it." Silence, only Brody's ragged breathing and Dale's whimpers. The radio pulsed with a faint red light. A long, dark, distorted shadow stretched across the floor. A heavy dragging sound grew closer, ending with a violent crash. The room plunged into darkness, only the red glow from the radio visible. Brody's outstretched hand clutching something unseen, his eyes wide with horror, then a woman's chilling chuckle. Sheriff Brody, strained and gruff, whispered, "Dale, you hear that?" Scratching intensified, accompanied by moans. A distorted voice whispered, barely audible, "Help! Get out!" A crash echoed down the hall. Brody fumbled for his gun, the radio's rhythmic thumping intensifying. Dale pointed to the radio, its red glow flickering, moans growing closer. They moved cautiously to the door, the handle cold, slick with dampness. Dale whispered, "Sheriff, I think it's blood." Whispers, faster now, overlapping. "They're watching. They're coming. It wants you. Run." A woman's scream echoed. The thumping became a frantic drumbeat. Dale tried the handle, jammed. A tremendous force slammed against the door. The radio fell silent, only the red glow from its broken dial. A monstrous shadow loomed, a high-pitched giggle, then a chilling whisper in Brody's ear. "Now you're one of us." A sickening crunch, a scream cut short. Only Deputy Dale remained, slumped against the sheriff's desk, eyes wide with terror. Sheriff Brody vanished. Harmony Creek had a new, unfriendly resident. The Red Room broadcast. It started with static and whispers. Now, silence, heavier than any storm. Mayor Thompson, a nervous wreck, paced his office, whispering about whispers inside his head, about Riley's fate, and the crimson-painted finger found in Brody's office. The tapping started again, louder, more insistent. Even the dogs whimpered. The cold dread seeped into your bones. The National Guard arrived looking tough, but fear flickered in their eyes. They set up a perimeter, but the tapping continued, driving people mad. A scream pierced the night, then silence. The radio was shattered, but a tiny, perfectly formed child's finger, painted red, remained. Harmony Creek, once peaceful, became a ghost story. Mayor Thompson, muttering about whispers and the things he didn't want to know, showed the smashed radio and the child's finger. That relentless tapping drove everyone mad. The National Guard tried to contain whatever crawled out of that radio, but the tapping was everywhere, under your skin. Then another scream. Silence. The scent of something unnatural. Metallic. Sickeningly sweet. A child's chilling giggle echoed. The National Guard radio crackled, a voice whispering, "It's hungry." Then silence, except for the rhythmic tapping. Slower, more deliberate, closer. Deputy Miller found Brody's patrol car smashed, tires slashed, only blood and something else. Miller's scream was cut short. Sergeant Davies went to investigate. Radio silence. Then, over the static, a child's voice whispering, "Mama, Mama, Mama." Silence. A heavy thudding, like a monstrous heart, beating outside your window. The town evacuated, but there was something they weren't telling anyone. A wriggling thing in the shadows beneath Mayor Thompson's bed, long and thin, with tiny clawed hands and glowing red eyes watching. The tapping, the moans, the heartbeat. A symphony of terror building to something. A distorted voice, closer now, whispering, "Mama, come, home. The red room waits." A terrifying shriek drowned out all other sounds. The tapping and heartbeat stopped. A silence worse than any scream. A silence telling you something unspeakable happened, waiting in the dark. The final sound. A door latch closing. Harmony Creek, once a postcard town, became a ghost story. The National Guard was gone. Brody, Riley, and Miller vanished. Only scared people remained, desperate to escape whatever crawled from the Red Room and that relentless tapping. Old Man Fitzwilliam saw something under Mayor Thompson's bed. Claws like knives, glowing red eyes. Hunger. Sarah Jane Harper felt eyes on her, watching, waiting. Then came her scream, abruptly silenced. Only the tapping and thudding remained. A monstrous heart beating beneath Harmony Creek. A distorted voice whispered, "Mama, come, home. The red room waits." A shriek, then silence. Only the sound of a door latch closing.